Okay, so this is Gary. Since we still have some more time, so let's give a free talk at first. Actually, I prepared a small story for today's training. Actually, this is Gary from NovaStar. Now I'm in the R&D department, but several years ago, I was a technician guy in the overseas department. I don't know, I'm not sure there have the friends online from Indonesia. Hope you remember me. This is Gary. Yes, that's Gary. Was the technical support engineer and also the sales specialist several years ago in Indonesia. And the story is happened in almost 3 years ago. There have one of our customers, they have a project, and project is quite fantastic. It's a music festival, but yes, I like that music festival much, but also that music festival caused me some headache problem for a while, because the project is quite big and the screen resolution is also large. We have to use many controllers to control it and load it. So it almost cost me 2 nights at the site to do the technical support, because we have to use many controllers, cascade together, and to set the controllers one by one. And also, that project is a regular screen design. So we have to do many maths and to calculate the position of each display area with which controller you load. So many problems with the traditional solution. So I'm wondering if there have some new solution can help us to solve all of this problem, because what I faced in the past, I'm certainly sure also you were faced in the past. Okay, so now let's back to our today's topic, the all new MX series solution. Maybe you can find the answer from today's what I will share with you. We hope the MX series solution can unleash more creativity for your LD project. So now let's back to our topic today. Okay, so today my introduction will consist by 3 parts. The part 1 will be one brand new software, and part 2 will be 2 core technologies, and the part 3 will be 3 highlights, and the brand new software, which will be totally different with our Nova LCT, because we use entirely new operation logical design. And yes, wait a moment. Hold on a second, wait a moment, please. Okay, now let's back to our topic. Also with 3 highlights, we can help allow our users to explore more possibility with MX solution. Okay, let's dive into the part by part for these 3 functions, the big function with data refresh with MX solution. Okay, the first thing we are going to talk is the VMP software. VMP software will be short with a vision, management, and the platform. The reason why we designed the VMP software is because I'm sure you already know NovaStar will have LD control system platform is named the Nova LCT, but in the past few years, we have received many feedback from our customers that how limited and how user unfriendly the Nova LCT is. So we start to thinking, we have realized that we have gone to do some changes. Okay, so here comes with a VMP software. We hope the VMP software can help our users to unleash more creativity with your LED projects. All right, okay, so let's check a short demo video of the VMP. Okay, so it's cool, right? This is our totally new software VMP, and it's many functions which we did new design in the VMP software, which not LCT. You haven't made that before. Okay, so let's dive into the VMP with the details, with more details. Okay, the VMP software is available for the multiple operating system, the Windows, Mac OS, and the Linux. And you can check from the pages. With VMP software, we use an entirely new, it's much modern and with much more user-friendly layout design. And this is entirely different with the normal LCT design. And now let's come to the homepage of the VMP. Okay, this is a homepage of the VMP software, and you can see from the left side is a sidebar, which is all the controllers you already connected with the VMP software. The controller will be listed as a sidebar. It's a device list on the top of the VMP. There is a navigator, and also is the core LD screen configuration workflow we rebuilt in VMP. And the right side is parameters. The right side will be the properties. There's a bar. All the adjustable parameters will be listed here. And the last in the middle of the VMP will be the screen operation canvas. I'm pretty sure you must be familiar with this kind of the situation. As I just mentioned in the little story, the screen is very big and the resolution is huge. So with traditional solution, we have to use many controllers to cascade together to load up this screen. But most of the time, the project's lead time is quite tight. But with traditional solution, you have to drag a wire Ethernet cable from the control room and put it with your laptop and move in front of the screen to set up the controller one by one. This is complicated and costs much time. So with our new solution, all the controller can be grouped together as long as the controller you already connected with the same local network by the router or IP switcher. And with a function which we called group management, with a group management, all the controller, the parameters of the controller can be set at all at once. So you no need to set the controller one by one. So before maybe you just before you have the 8 controllers, you need to set 8 times. But now, if you set a group with all controllers, you just need to set once. It greatly improves the work efficiency on site. And before we do the screen configuration, we have much more work need to do. The first thing we need to do is to set up a proper source for our LED display. But in the past, with Nova LCT platform, you have to do the calculate the coordinates of the video source input position to go front of the screen, then do the check whether the video source fits for the LED display size correctly. But now in VMP, all the input source display content status can be monitored by the VMP canvas. Just like this, you can just watch the VMP content feedback, then set up the video source quickly and properly fit with your LED display area. And with the source preview function, you can also do the quick shift or switch between the multiple source input and, of course, accurately. But in case you are not have a proper video source for you to refer to continue do the screen configuration, here we also provide you another function which we call the built-in source. Just like this, even you are not have an external proper video source, you can still let your screen configuration go on. And of course, with a built-in source, you can also customize your own pictures or test patterns. For instance, the company logos you can store it by your own self in your controller. When you just need it, you just do it, call it back to use it on site. It's much more convenient for you to do the on-site cast for your LD display. So after we finished the source setting, now let's move to the step 2, the screen configuration, or we call the screen mapping. Here is a demo video for the screen mapping. You can say the method we designed in the VMP, the screen mapping is totally different with no LCP. You just need to drag, put some mouse in the canvas and drag the cabinets, follow the real wire connection with your LD display. Then the screen mapping will be finished. And even you are not, you no need to worry if some area you did a wrong varying, because we also provide you 16 possible patterns set here. What you need to do, what you need only to do is to select the correction area and select the corresponding patterns. Then the correction job will be finished without changing all the whole screen mapping again. And also we can show the details information of the cabinets also in, as well in the VMP. And of course, we did another refresh in the VMP software. Refreshment in the software is we broken down the rectangle limitation. Also, as I mentioned in the story, for the irregular screen, in the past, we have to do the calculate. We have to make sure the outer rectangle of the irregular screen under the loading capacity of your controller. But now, with a new solution, with a new software, you can go the way as you want, because we broken down the outer rectangle limitation. All the loading capacity controller count will be by the real cabinets you load. So here is 6 cabinets with irregular screen design. You can check the loading capacity is same with a rectangle with 6 cabinets here load. And also you can check the each port loading status of the loading capacity on the bottom of the layout in VMP software. So this is the VMP software about the screen mapping. So after we did the screen mapping, we will move to the step 3, screen correction. For instance, sometimes we need to do the dark line or the brightness line adjustment. We call that same correction. In the VMP software, what you need to do is to put some mouse to locate the target in your LD display visually, and put some mouse to the scroll area wheel to scroll your wheels up and down, which all the adjustments for the brightness line and the dark line will be the job adjustment of the dark line brightness line will be finished quickly and easily. And also the same operation is applied to the multi-bench adjustment. So this is a demo. This is a demo video for the visual light adjustment for the seams correction. So after we finished the screen correction, almost 18% job of the LD configuration will be finished. But for some special using scenario like the TV studio, the virtual production, and also the extra production, there have much more requirements for the color adjustment requirements. So we also designed the perceptual color control tools in VMP. For example, the 3D LUT, the curve, the color replacement, and also with the 14-channel color correction. We will go this function deeper in as well. So after all the jobs set it down, now we go to the last part, the output management. So we need to make sure the output effects on LED stays work stable and also work correctly with the third-party devices. Here, much more functions should be prepared in VMP for help, such as the genlock, the low latency, and the phase offset, multiplexing. Of course, we will go this deeper in a while as well. Not only all the functional parts for the on-site using application, we also did the upgrade for the content monitoring and the health status monitor. With content monitoring, you can monitor the content what you displayed on your LED screen just by the software, because the content will be read up directly, show you the content up with VMP canvas. And also you can get the end-to-end information of the health status with your whole structure of LED. So this is a total introduction for the brand new software VMP. The VMP software will be available for the multiple operation system and Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, and also we designed a standard LED screen configuration workflow. Some new functions we also applied with the new software, like the device group settings, and also we've broken down the rectangle limitation. After all the job settings done, we go to the management and do an overall management for the output. Okay, so this is a VMP, the brand new software. After the VMP software, let's move to the second part, two core technologies, the dynamic booster and the full grayscale calibration. So the first technology we will introduce is a dynamic booster. With a dynamic booster, to help our users have a better understanding with dynamic booster, we do a real picture shot. We put a real picture shot at here. The left one with a picture which is just a normal effect, and on the right side is with a picture with dynamic booster function engaged. You can see on the right side, the picture performance is better than the left one. The right one picture will get more details in the low grayscale and also have a sharper, higher contrast performance. That is because we use the dynamic. That is because the dynamic booster we use the dynamic algorithm at there. The dynamic booster will be analyzed the pictures frame by frame, and to make the picture to display the brightness and sharp details to the ideal level. Based on the image analyzed frame by frame, we can make sure there is no exposure in highlights and no loss of the details in the shadows. Of course, even you just give in an SDR source input, we can make sure you can get HDR-like effect performance of your video source input of the LED display image. And besides the image quality enhanced, dynamic booster also bring our users another value, that is power saving, around 20%. Why we say that? That is also based a real test in our lab. We did a test with some frequently used content, the white in 100%, and the per point, the grayscale gradient, and also with the printer test pages. Here is a result we get with from the test. And after this After this test, we also mix all of this content to do another test, which including the PowerPoint files, the documentary movies, and also sport art news. And finally, we get a 20% power saving result. This means a lot for us because with a power saving, with a power consumption saving, the temperature of the LED screen will be lowered, down, and with the temperature lowered down, it will help our users to extend the lifespan of our LED display. So that means a lot for us. So after the dynamic booster, the other core technology I'm going to share with you is a full grayscale calibration. Here is a sales amount of the mini LED and the micro LED. So from this table, we can surely tell you that mini LED and the micro LED will be keep increased, and continue expand in the market also in the future. So there will be the new issues we have to face, which we didn't pay much attention before, is the inaccurate color blocks and the non-uniformity of the display in the low brightness of the mini LED. That is a problem for us. So if we want to keep the mini LED and micro LED products quality keeps go on, we have to solve this problem. So we have to know the first thing, why there caused this kind of the problem with color blocks and non-uniformity with low brightness. Here is a short explanation for the problem. As we all know, the pixel page of the LED screen is continue to go down on the way, and there will be required the smaller power current to drive the LED chip. So with smaller power current, the non-linearity of the LED display will become more obvious, which the traditional one-layer calibration cannot solve it at all. So here comes with a full grayscale calibration. Here is also a short video to demo the display performance, which left side is traditional one-layer grayscale, one-layer calibration. The left side with a full grayscale calibration. You can see in the low brightness, in a low grayscale, the right side, which with a full grayscale calibration performance, will be better than the left one. That is because with full grayscale calibration, all the calibration coefficients will be generated frame by frame, and grayscale, one grayscale by one grayscale, you can get a more precise calibration effect with each grayscale. This is the two core technologies we bring to you. The dynamic booster, with dynamic booster, you can do your image quality will be enhanced again, and meanwhile also can help you to save the power consumption to extend your LED screen lifespan. And with full grayscale calibration, we will solve the mini LED and the micro LED color blocks and the non-uniformity with low grayscale. So after these two core technologies, we will move into the three highlights, which help our users to explore more possibility and capability with MX new solutions. There will be including three parts. Part one will be the flexible color adjustment, and the part two is a global scenario preset. The last part will be the frame processing. So in the past, when we talk about the LED screen, actually we are always talking Actually, we are always talking is about the human eye vision of the LED display, but now the virtual production is on the trade. So when we talk about the LED screen, there have a much more requirements for the LED display because in the past we more care about the human vision of the LED screen working experience, but now we have to take care about the camera vision for the LED screen. So this is the two main difference. This is two main difference between what we face now with what we face in the past. Human vision moved to the camera vision. So the color will be one of the key factors we have to face. And also color is also the fundamental part, the directors and the designers to unleash their creativity. So in the new solution, they designed the flexible color control management tools for input and also for the output. In the input part, we can allow users to adjust the color parameters for the video source, like the black level and the contrast, hue, saturation, and also even we allow our users to do the contrast and black level setting for RGB channel separately. And also, besides the input part, in the output part, we also provide more professional tools and for the color correction. For instance, here we provided the 14-channel color correction tools, which allow users to have a more precise, accurate color effect correction by the VMP software to correct the color to your ideal level. And for some others more professional users, we also provided more professional tools such as the curves and the 3D LUTs. The curves will allow users to do the independent adjustment for the different style color effects. Here is a short demo picture. You see this is a primary effect for the picture with color curves. The color effect will be quickly correct to the ideal level as the designers want. And also we provided some more professional color correction tools, the 3D LUTs. The 3D LUTs will allow users to do the color remapping in a three-dimensional color space, which also help our users to get a more precisely color effect output on your LED screen. And what you all need to do is to importing a 3D LUT file, and you can just design the color effects and like the artist way, like the Hollywood level, like the Hollywood colorist. So this is the color part. Besides color, the other function we provided here is a scenario preset. Because in the past few years, we also did many projects of the virtual production, XR projects, and TV studios. We found that our users most of the time they face a problem is the same. They are headache with group source management, because in the traditional solution, they have to use many controllers to load up the screen, but that will be difficult for all controllers video source input management. So they asked us for help, whether there will have a solution to help them solve this kind of problem, because this is complicated if they want to set the controller's video source input parameters one by one, and it will also cost much time on it. So here we combined the video source input management requirements with group management function. We did a scenario preset here. We allow users to group all the controllers together and to set the ED ID with a group And also with the source in for black level, all the color correction effects, also you can apply it with a group. After you finish set down with a group, that will be mean all the controller in the group will be also applied with the parameters you just set it. So before you maybe just need to before you need to set the controller one by one, whatever you have 10, you have 20, maybe you just need to set it 10 times and 20 times. Now, if you group them together in the group, select the group, just need to set it once, all the job will be finished. And then even at here, you can set the HDR parameters with all the controllers. With a new solution, the HDR part we also support HDR 10 bits with 444 format, and the PQ mode are also supported at here. So besides the video source input set video source input preset, we also support to restore the preset for the output and color processing. That is because you may need to use this screen or use this system for many different projects, like the show, the conference, the live, the film. But also, like I just mentioned, the time lead for projects is quite tight. So we can do much more preparation job in advance. So we can set the video source inputs, the processing, the output management of the controllers with a preset function. When you just go to different projects, just call back the preset for the settings for your controller's LD screen directly. It's much more efficiency for your work. Okay, this is set the preset for the output, the color processing. So this is a scenario preset for the second highlight we introduced. The last part we have to face the real problem, that's the camera shooting issues. When camera shoots the LD screen, there always have these two kind of the problem occurred at here. The first problem is the black field. The other is we call the scan line. So the reason why they're called these two different problem is because the inconsistence of the camera shutter with inconsistent start time with the camera shutters between the LD controller, and also the inconsistent frequency. And the last one is the inconsistent duration. So only if we solve these three problems, the scan line and black field will be disappeared. So what is our solution? What we will do for that? First of all, we will use a gene lock generator to keep the camera and the LD controllers in the same time zone to make them start at the same time. And second, we will use a gene lock phase offset and shutter fade function to keep the frequency and the duration of the camera shutter same with our LD control system. Then the black field and the scan line from the camera to capture the LD display will be gone. So this is with shutter fade and phase offset. You can say the problem of the scan slice and the black field will be get rid of from our camera output. So after we solved this problem, we also get many requirements from our customers that, as you all know, the virtual production, the cost a day is quite high. So they ask us if they have a solution can help them to improve the work efficiency. Meanwhile, help them to lower down the cost of the virtual production. So here we bring our solution for that, the frame multiplexing. we can, by the frame multiplexing, we can allow our users just shooting once at the site, but you can get a multi-effect output from your cameras. Just like this, you can see this is a this is an XR scenario, and with multi-cameras, also multi-video source inputs. By the way, our frame multiplexing maximum supports 6 frame mixed. And by just shooting at once, you will get multiple effect outputs from your camera. This is a demo. Yeah, here is a demo of the here is a demo for the frame multiplexing. You mix several video sources in one video and by multi-cameras to capture. Cooperate with Genlog phase offset function, you can get a multi-effect output simultaneously. So this is the frame multiplexing. So now let's come back to the whole solution for the virtual production. As you can see from the video source inputs, we supported HDR10 444 format. Also PQ modes will be supported. And from the camera side, to cooperate with the controller, we have the shutter phase and Genlog phase offset to help get rid of the scan light problems and also the black field problem. And with frame multiplexing, can allow your user just shooting at once, you can get a multiple effect output to greatly improve the work efficiency on site. And yes, from the screen side, we provided more professional color correction tools such as 14-channel color correction and color curve. 3D LUT is more for more professional users. And all the solutions is based on the VMP platform, the totally brand new software. So this is a whole solution for the virtual production. So you may wondering what this is all the functional explanation, all the functional introduction. So what is the real system structure is? I think most of people is more care about that. Actually, the system structure is quite simple. One brand new software, VMP, we help users to unleash more creativity, we hope. And with MX40 Pro is a controller, which is a 4K level controller, which supports the inputs with the input support all the 4K resolution input, 3 HDMI with loop and 1 12G SDI also with loop, with 1 DP 1.2. All the outputs is 20 XLR Ethercon connectors. And of course, we also equipped 4 10G optical fiber channels in MX40 Pro. So the last is our receiving card, flagship receiving card 18S Pro. The loading capacity of the 18S Pro is 500 by 12, 512 by 512 in 60 Hertz, of course, and equipped with all the function we introduced today. This is our whole structure with MX solution. So now let's move to the hardware demonstration, hardware introduction, and the VMP software demonstration. Please wait a moment. Let's switch it back to the on-site. Okay, so this is the hardware of the MX40 Pro, and you can see in front of the panel. It's quite simple. It's a quite simple industry design style. There have a knob and also equipped with a back button, quite simple, and equipped with a small LCD monitor, which allows users to access the hardware, access a controller to do some simple operation without the in case you are not have a VMP software outside. And the rear of the MX40 Pro, you can see there have a 20 XLR connectors RJ45 output. Also for the output parts, they equipped for 10J optical fiber, 4G optical fiber, 2 for may, 2 for copy the signal from the optical output 1 and 2. This is output parts. For the input parts, there have 3 groups HDMI inputs. All the HDMI is version 2.0, which supports a 4K resolution input. And yes, all is equipped with loop output. And here is also with DP 1.2 input ports, which is also support 4K resolution input. And we also equipped the 12J SDI input channel, of course, also equipped with a loop channel. It's much more efficient if you have if you use it in the live concert project. And in the control parts, the control port of the MX40 Pro is 2 Ethernet cable, which 2 Ethernet ports, which you can easily to find the Ethernet cable on the side to do the control from your VMP software connected with MX40 Pro to do the control. And of course, they equipped a group Genlock output connector, Genlock connector, which our Genlock connector supports the bi-level, tri-level, and also blackburst format signal will be supported here. So this is a hardware brief introduction. Now let's move back to the VMP software demonstration. All right, okay. So here, I think you guys already see my VMP software homepage at here. Yeah, okay. So when you open the VMP software, if you already set down your controller connected with your laptop, of course, you need to keep them in the same local network. The controller name will be pop up as the controller list, popped up as the controller list. Of course, right click it. You can do the rename and do some quite quick operation for that, like the phrase blackouts. And of course, you can rename it. Let's rename it with NCE test. Yeah. See test. So here we already gave the 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we gave the 3 video source input. As you can see, all the video source you give input to the controller will be show up at your VMP canvas directly. So maybe can help you to save a monitor on your LD project. Much more convenient. So let's start from the part 1, the source setting, because most of the time, if you need to do the screen mapping, we need a source input to do the reference. But in the past, we need to calculate, right? We need to calculate the start position of the video source, and also the video source input resolution to set its fit for our LD screen. But now, because all the content of the video source will be shown up at the canvas, so you can move up to the screen layout directly. Just put the layout of the cabinet. Will be directly map the content at your LD display. So that is the source setting, and for the source setting, for the video source input, you can also check the source information, the resolution, refresh rate, all the details information of the video source you can get at here. That is convenient for our users to have some problem with the display, and you need some technical after sales technical support. So you can just take a photo for all this information, send to our technical support engineer. It will be helpful for them adjust where the problem will be. And of course, for the video source inputs, the EDID settings, and of course, even for the HDR video source input, you can do the more detailed settings to help you get some more accurate and precisely HDR effect. Here, what we need to focus is the video source color adjustments. So now let's switch to another video source here. You can see here, you already see the video in the LD display. We can do the black level and to adjust the color low grayscale with the video source input to improve the contrast of the video source input. This is the video content of the video content display on your LD screen will be performance will be much better and sharper than before. This is for the black level adjustment and the contrast adjustment. Besides that, we also can do the RGB channel shadows and highlight setting separately. So we can observe this content display on LD display, find that their green color is a little bit more. So if we don't want the green color, just like this more, we can just load down the green color from the video source. Then, yeah, there's another performance style or color style on your LD display. Increase the blues shadow, and also for the highlights, we lower down the gray highlight, lower down the gray colors in the highlight. Okay, so now this is a totally different style, another style with LD display. If all the adjustments you are not unsatisfied with your ideal level, here is a recover button. You can quick recover the color effects for your LD display. This will be the much convenient for you if you did some wrong setting with the colors for the video source input. So this is a video source input function. So after we setting down a source and for our LD screen, normally the next step we need to do is to do screen mapping for the LD screen, because we already have a video source input for reference. So in VMP, there has, as I just mentioned, as I just introduced, there are total new screen configuration method was be designed. You can see from the canvas on the bottom of the layout, here just have one port you can be selected. You can select it, and the other port is gray, which you cannot select. That is me. In VMP software will be read the data information from controllers by real time and directly show a result for you. So you no need to count, okay, which port loading which part LD screen, because here VMP already tell you directly at here. now we just load. Now we just have port 1 load up the screen, and here have a 12, means in the port 1 there have 12 receiving card is active, or we can tell they have 12 cabinets they are active. So select the port 1, and after you select the port 1, after you finish the select the port, there have a screen mapping information show up on your LD display. S means sender, 01 means sender, sender 1, P means port 1, sender 1, port 1, receiving card 10 is right corner, right up corner, right? So this is a mapping information logic you read from the LD display, and now you can just follow the mapping information to do the screen configuration here. And for the master, for the screen mapping master, also much more convenient and also interesting than before. You just need to drag the mouse, follow the real connection of your LD display. Then, yeah, bingo, the screen configuration just finished. And for some projects, for some parts of the cabinets, maybe you just did a wrong connection on the right side of the layout. Here provide you 16 possible patterns. So what you need to do is select the wrong connection area, and then select the corresponding patterns. The correction job will be finished. Okay, so for this screen, the correct direction should be this one. Okay, so now the screen mapping job is finished. So besides the screen configuration, they also provide another more useful function like the tiles information readout. So in future, if you use the VMP Software MX solution on site, if you need to do some after sales maintenance, but you forget or you lose some information about your controllers, your LD screen cabinets, you can just take a photo from the tiles part. All the details information will be show up here directly. Just send these photos back to the engineer. Engineer will be know, okay, so which year, which bench of the LD cabinets, the shapes, they will find the corresponding files, whatever screen files or the receiving card files. Just load it, then everything will be saved, will be solved. Also, they have much more functions. Welcome to connect our engineers to find a demo version of VMP to try that, test that, and feedback us your idea of this software. And so after the layout job finished, we will move to the part 3, the screen correction. So here, when you select the correction mode, all the screen of your LD display will be show up the 100% white here, and you can just do the brightness adjustment as you require outside to do the screen correction. And for the select mode, for the screen correction, there have 2 modes: the themes correction mode and the modules correction mode. So let's demo the themes correction at first. For the dark line or brightness line, that is a common problems we always face. We always faced in the project. And in the VMP, you can see when the mouse I placed on the cabinets in a VMP canvas, the mouse will be also show up on your LD display. So what you only need to do is to face the LD display and to do the observation, to use the cursor of the mouse to locate the target area on your LD display. Then put the mouse to the wheel scroll area and wheels up and down to realize the quick seams correction. It's much more efficient than you did in NovaLCT. So before, in the past, you have to do many calculation. If you find a line you need to adjust, you must to find which controllers loading this area and which receiving card in this cabinets, and to remember the orders of the controller and the receiving card. Then find it in NovaLCT. But now the only thing you need to do is put a mouse on the LD display. Just select it and finish the correction. Quite interesting. Welcome to try this function in VMP. And the same operation logic also used for the mouse bench modules. The things you only need to do, put a mouse on the target modules or cabinets to adjust the R or J or V separately to set it to the ideal level as we want. It's much efficient than before. It's in the color correction in VMP. If you, of course, after you setting everything down, you can click save to save it to the controllers. So now let's just don't save it. All right. So now let's move to the processing part, because in the most of the projects, after you finish the screen correction, almost 80% job will be finished. But for some special using scenario like the virtual production, the XR projects, the TV studios, they have much more requirements for the color. So in VMP, we also designed much more useful color tools for the for this kind of the users. So now let's switch to internal source at here. This is an image. This is a static image. We put it on the flower. Now let's use another one. We use a car, right? This one is much better in the color adjustment with color replacement. We use this color replacement. We can say the color of the car now is yellow. We just use the tools to streak the color from the car is yellow, and now we change it to another color. Maybe we want it, but we don't want this yellow color of the car. We want red color of the car. Now it's quickly the color of the car was be replaced with a color as we want. All the color of the car was be changed quickly. So this is a color replacement. So for some users, they just want to have a quick effect preview for their content displayed in the LD display with different color style. They want this quick effect test. These tools will be much helpful for them. And of course, we can also allow the users to do some more precise settings for the color replacement, like the hue tolerance and hue softness, the shadow strength. Also, we can to adjust it to set the color to the ideal level as our user wants. This color replacement. Besides that, we also have some others more professional color adjustment tools. Now we switch to another image. Now this is a flower show up at the LD screen. Now with the 14-channel correction, color correction. We already set some parameters here and preset on the color correction. Now we just increase the color of the red in the hue, saturation, and brightness. Now let's enable the color correction tools. You will see the color of the flower is have a higher contrast and performance, more different style than than before. And also with this function enabled, there have not effect with other colors in this image. Just makes the red color getting a better different performance. So with 14 channel color correction, our users can do more precisely and accurately adjust for the colors, for different colors without impact with other colors. So now let's just adjust the red, but there is no impact with a yellow, with a green on the image. So this is a 14 channel correction. And also now we switch to another pictures, and here another flower. Okay. So with a color processing curves function, now before we disable the color curve, you see the color is more about white, is normal, but we want another style of the flower. We can just enable the curves to set different points in the color curves to follow the color curve adjustment rules to improve the contrast in the high brightness and lower down the contrast in the low brightness. And now let's back to the red channel to improves the contrast in low grayscale, improves the contrast in high level. Then another types of the flower was showed up at here also, making more gray. So now it's another style of the flower. By the curves, you can also get a quick color style adjustment with your LED display. Just a fit for different using scenario. For instance, your screen was used as a film production, but for one say, you want it's a rain day, so you can use this color tools to do the color tone mapping with more gray style color effects. But the other thing is a sunny day, so you can use this kind of the color tools to correction the color with more brightness and brighter and more yellow style, red style color effects with a sunny day. It's used for different say with these color correction tools. Of course, we will support the 3D LUT. All you need to do is find your correct 3D LUT file and import it to the VMP software, enable the 3D LUT function. Your output effects on your LED display will be quick remapped for the color performance. And please be noted, the 3D LUT file we now support is a cube. The file name is .cube, and the size of the 3D LUT file is 7 by 7 by 7. 17 by 17 by 17. This is the size of the 3D LUT file. We now support it. So after we setting all the video source, we finished the screen mapping, and of course we finished the screen correction and the color processing. The last job we need to do is to do the management for our controllers. So here is much more helpful functions also provided here. So I just mentioned in the introduction, now more using scenario is about we need to cooperate with the third-party devices like the camera, like the console. So here we provided much more functions like the Genlock synchronization. We have to keep the controllers in the synchronized with another media server or the console to keep all the controller, to keep all the equipment on site in the same time zone. Then why we need to keep them in time zone, because we need to make sure the final content, the final effect you displayed on your LD screen is content is in a whole part without the without any spacing, to keep all the image combined together with synchronized together without tearing in the final output display. All right, so this is the output management, and also at here you can enable the calibration effect if you did in your LD supplier manufacturer, and also the magic the image booster function if you did. For the video output, the bit depth and the low latency, you can also do more accurate setting with that. Depend on the real using the real application using scenario you faced. And the final at here. Now we just select one controller, all the loading capacity status of the controller, even each port of it will be show up here, so you can have a clear information about the loading status of your all controller at here. And the corporate with a camera here, the shutter phase, the frame multiplexing are all was put at here. So corporate with a camera, you can do more settings to get a more ideal level output effect when your camera to do the shooting to capture the content from the LD screen. So from the source input to the output, this is a standard LD configuration workflow we built in VMP software. And after you did them all, also you can do the preset at here. So for different using scenario, you can do some preparation job in advance. For the film production, that is a scenario. For the TV studio, that is another using scenario. So for different using scenario, to set the different preset, to restore the different preset. Then when you go to different projects, you can just do the quick retravel for different presets correspond with a corresponding project. So this is all the main workflow in the VMP software. And for the video source, we just introduced the external video source input. Actually, for the video source input, we also provide you internal source template here. And besides that, all the video source input, the internal video source will also support our users to customize their own pictures at here. And also here, you can see with others test and patterns at here to allow users to do some display effect test for their LD display on the event for a quick test. Okay, so this is the VMP. This is the VMP software demonstration from the video source set. Provide a proper video source. Then, based on the video source, you do the screen mapping fastly, and after the screen mapping, you may meet some problem with dark line or brightness line. So you can go to the correction to do the quick brightness line and dark line adjustment visually, because the mouse you can locate a target directly on your LD screen. So after you finish the correction, for some special using scenario like the virtual production, much more color correction tools was provided at here. You can to unleash more your creativity based on the colors. And finally, output all the perfect effects of your content to work stable on the LED screen and the floor. Work correctly with certain devices. Much more output function will be provided at here. So this is a standard workflow for the LED configuration in VMP. If you want to explore more details function of the VMP, as I just mentioned, please contact our sales and or contact our technical engineer to find a VMP software demo. We'll welcome you to feedback more your test experience for us. Your test experience is much more important for us. So that is all for today's VMP software demonstration. Thank you.